Welcome to the Socialize Strategy, the Friday edition of the Socialize podcast, where we take a deep dive into the topic of the week. Before we get started, just a nice announcement that our new website is up and running. It's live, hellosocialize.com, and we have buttons at the top for Learn, where you will find a drop-down menu for tutorials, workshops, and courses. And there will be an Instagram course coming soon as well for those Instagram lovers. But take a look at it and explore, give us any feedback on things that you like about it. We're still doing some tweaking, but you can get a good sense of where we're headed and keeping everything organized and in one place. I found that my links, when I was sending people link in my profile, there was too many links and there was too much confusion. So hopefully this is going to simplify everything. I'm very excited about it. You'll notice also on the website under Learn, and when you click workshops, the workshop that we just did last week for the keyframes is now posted. So you can watch that workshop if you missed it. If you signed up and you missed it, you can actually just go and take a peek at it and watch it and follow along on your phone. So it's a really, really handy workshop. And of course, we will always be posting the next workshop there first. So you can be the first to know about it if you check in on the Learn tab and take a look. All right, let's dive into the topic for today. What do you do when you're feeling content burnout and uninspired? You're sick of creating, you're not in the mood, even though you like doing it. Because I even have days where I love making content and I love being creative and thinking of different ideas to do and different trends to do. And then even I have days where I'm like, wow, I can't even do it today. I'm not feeling it. And I can't describe what it is. It's not because I don't feel well or I don't look camera ready, because I really don't care if I'm camera ready or not. But it's more about your mood. It's more about what else you have going on. Maybe things are bothering you, or you have personal things that are kind of getting in the way. So whatever it is that's slowing you down and making you feel burned out and not wanting to do it, maybe it just feels like an endless treadmill where you're just on that hamster wheel. A lot of times, I like to call it a hamster wheel because it can really be draining. But if you're feeling it, let's talk about some tips to get past it and get through it. So the first thing I always like to say is you've got to get back to making it fun. And that sounds easy for me to say it. And also, I'm always having fun wherever I go. So it's easy for me to do it. But even days when I'm busy and I realize, oh my God, I don't have time to create content. This is how can I make it fun? I even have to coach myself into it and think of, well, if I'm not going to do a tutorial because I'm not in the mood to record a tutorial today, what am I going to do that's fun and different? And so getting away from your niche can really help you if you can let yourself go and just do something where it's more instinctual versus strategic and planned. And it's perfectly okay to do that. Oftentimes, those are the ones that pop off and do better just because you took 5 minutes to make a video instead of a half an hour or an hour. So think about doing that. Now, there's some other ideas you can use when you really have when you're not in the mood. You're not going to turn your camera on, you're over it. Share another person's video. Find your favorite creator, share their content to your story, duet that content, and you don't even have to be in the duet. You can put yourself side by side and put something else on the side of the duet. So I have seen people that duet my tutorials, and they put, instead of themselves, they keep black there, they cover the camera, and they just put a title that says, watch this tutorial, it's so good, or this is so helpful. And it's so nice. Number one, it's lovely for me and that they're sharing my content. And number two, it gives them a break from creating. They can just share something that maybe spoke to them in that moment. I highly recommend doing that. I think number one, it helps engagement. It really will level you up to other creators too, and maybe they'll do the same for you. So it's a give and a take, and it's a nice way to really be social on social media and socialize. I had to say it. The next idea is very similar, except repost your own content. Dive into your phone, go back a bit, and see if there's a video that you shared. You can look at your posts and see which one did well, or you can just go into your phone and find a video, however you want to do it, and use content that you already have recorded. So it takes the pressure off you having to think of something new. And most people do not see every single video you post. And if you have loyal followers who do see every video, they are going to be very forgiving. They're not going to care if you post something again. So you don't have to worry about who's judging or I know we get so into this idea that everybody's seeing every single thing we post and they're following along our every moment of our life. And that's not reality. People do not have time for that. So there's a handful of maybe your most loyal followers that are doing that, but you don't have to worry about them because they're going to love you no matter what. So do what you need to do. Pick a video that did really well for you and repost it. Why not? I mean, see if it does better the second time around. I think that's an easy, it's almost like a cop out, but it's a cop out I love. I can get behind. So try that. Another idea is making it easier for yourself. So don't think about what you normally create. This is similar to just having fun, but instead of doing what you normally do in your niche or making a plan and here's what I'm going to post next. Think of a way to make a scrappier video. Think of a way to make something that's not time consuming. So really what I'm suggesting is use CapCut or Instagram templates. They are there for you. They're so easy to use. You don't even have to think twice about it. You can just pop, pop, pop. You can do it. I mean, really get crazy, be random. Don't even plan what photos, take them off niche, whatever, just to have some fun with a template. And this will bring me to the suggestion that I think I spoke about it very early in the year when I said this is a new year idea for you is at the beginning of each month, look back in your phone, go through the photos from the month. I've been doing this religiously myself. Feels really good because I've been staying on top of it. And I go through the month and I think what videos are really I'm never going to need again, delete. What photos have I doubled and taken 15 photos of the same thing? Delete, find the best one, delete the rest. So do a cleanup on the first of the month or pick a time in the month and when it's good for you, if it's the 15th of the month, whenever, and do a cleanup of your previous month photos. And when you're doing the previous cleanup of that month photos and videos, not just photos, when you're doing that cleanup, put some favorites in a folder. So you always have a few in a folder for a template. This way, when you're busy, my gosh, you don't have to worry about it. You can just go boom, 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 pick the photos, add the music, and off you go. Very easy content to create. And the other, I guess I won't even say this is the last thing, but another thing is if you want to take a break and not post, know ahead of time. Think about like that you're going to take a break maybe in 2 weeks because you're going to give yourself a break. So do a few extra videos, put them in the drafts and leave them there so that when you're on that break, you can just open up your phone, click post. You don't have to even type the caption. They're all ready to go. And this way you give yourself a break, but your social media isn't taking a break. If it stresses you out to have your social media offline for a week or two, get yourself prepared for it. I do this so often when I know I have a production coming up and I think I'm going to be on the shoot every single day. What if I don't have time to make content? A lot of times I find time to do a little dance video with one of my coworkers, one of my crew people, and I love it. But if I might not have time to do that, depending on how the shoot is going. So I will prepare. I think, what are a few trends I could put in the bank? And I put them in my drafts. What are maybe as a tutorial I can shoot ahead of time? And I put that in my drafts and I get them ready. This way, when I'm ready for my break, I can take it and I don't have to be stressed about it. I haven't disappeared. I'm still posting. Feels really good to do that. It will make you feel very accomplished because you'll feel that you're being true to yourself without falling off your game. And so I think it's a good one. So try to keep that in mind that you can make a plan. It's just a lot of people aren't planners and I'm one of those. I don't always like to plan, but when I get it in my head that I have a busy week coming up, I will put some pressure on myself to get ahead of the game. And it feels really good when I do it. The last thing is to remember that social media is not an emergency. So it is not going to be the end of the world if you take a week off and you don't post anything. As a matter of fact, there are creators who have made videos saying, I didn't post on my social media for 2 weeks and guess what happened? And then the next slide is nothing. Everything's fine. I love those because it's just such a good reminder that the only pressure that we are getting from social media most of the time is the pressure we're putting on ourselves. And if you remove that and decide, I am not going to put this on myself because I can take control of my feelings, I can change how my mind works. And if you do that, you'll have so much more fun when you do get back to creating. You'll feel more creative again because you'll be inspired from taking that pressure off yourself. So those are my thoughts for this Friday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I haven't had any new questions come into the question box. So this is your opportunity. If you want to have a question answered, go to the newsletter and tap at the bottom. It says submit questions because I check that document religiously to look for new questions that I can answer. And I am happy to do it. And I'd love to have the extra content for these podcasts. And it's hard for me to add them into the newsletter because the newsletter is already containing so much information. So it's really helpful and it gives me something else to chat about and really speak more off the cuff. So give me an opportunity to answer your questions. Submit a question to the newsletter this week. That's your goal. All right. Thank you so much. If you landed here via a podcast by accident, make sure you subscribe to the newsletter at hellosocialize.com because that is where we send out all the links to the trends and the original content ideas and everything on Tuesday. And then on Friday is when I do the deep dive into the topic of the week. So make sure you're signed up and have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. Enjoy.